Is it still a good morning?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. As introduced, my name is Busisiwe Maqungo. I was asked to come here and talk to you about my journey, my HIV journey. So I think this is one of the easiest tasks to do because I'm asked to talk about myself. So my HIV journey started 23 years ago, right? But I still remember it as if it happened yesterday. So I was 27 years old when I had my daughter. That was in 1999. Now in South Africa, you will all remember ukuthi back then there was no medication. There was not, if you test as there were no testing. I think one of the reasons people were not tested, especially when pregnant, was ukuthi there was no treatment. Why would we test people if there's nothing to offer? You get what I'm trying to say? So I was never tested and I never suspected ukuthi there could be anything wrong with me or with my status. I gave birth to my daughter in 1999 and a month later she started getting sick. When I took her to hospital, the doctor suggested ukuthi they maybe should do the HIV test. I was okay because I did not have any symptoms, but I wanted the doctors to know what is it exactly that they were dealing with. So I gave them the permission. It's okay, you can go ahead. It was on a Friday. They admitted Umdana. On Monday, I had to come back. It is all visited Umdana. And when I came back, that's when I got the results, which Umdana is HIV positive. Now, that meant ukuthi I'm also HIV positive because Umdana Umdana, right? If Umdana on HIV, it means ukuthi she got it from umama wakhe. Now that's when in Ngugu started. I had to be tested anyway, even though it was clear in the yoguti she got it from me, but I still had to be tested. I tested positive. The father also tested. He also tested positive, but unfortunately for Yena, he wasn't as strong as I was because 9 months later he shot himself dead. The baby died, right, when she was 9 months old. Before that, between dying and the diagnosis, she was always sick. She was always in and out of the hospital. It was hardly a week, and then she had to go back to hospital until she passed away. Now, when she passed it, that's when I took a decision. I needed to do something. Now, back then, HIV. No one spoke about the HIV. No one spoke about HIV. It was a big thing. The stigma was so huge. No one wanted to talk about it, and as a result, people were dying. The keeping quiet part, I think, is what killed abantu abaninzi. Even though there was no medication to help abantu anyway, I knew ukuthi there was no medication, but I refused to die. I just told myself ukuthi I wasn't gonna die. I knew ukuthi HIV was killing people. I knew ukuthi people around me were dying left, right, and center. But I told myself ukuthi no, I don't want to die. Until I joined a support group, right? The social worker that gave me counseling recommended that I join a support group that was Esbedlele. It was based in Esbedlele. We were meeting twice a month. So this other day, a member of the group announced that there was a doctor, an HIV specialist that was coming. He was coming to address us as about HIV. So he came, he spoke to us. And at the end of his session, I asked to speak to him, and I told him, look, now that was after Umdana Iswerekile, and I told him, look, I don't know, but I feel I need to do something about it. I don't know what, but I feel I need to do something about it. Then he introduced me to UTAC. He introduced me to UTAC, and that's when my journey of activism started. At TAC, campaigning for the availability of treatment. But as a mother who lost a child to HIV, because now we understood there was medication to stop this. There was medication to stop a mother infecting a child with HIV, but it was not available in this country for whatever reason. So naturally, I joined. In fact, I became more active in that part, the prevention of mother-to-child whatever campaign. I was part of the group that took Manjo Chabalala, the then Minister of Health, to a court, and Thabo Mbeki, which they should provide medication to pregnant HIV positive mothers. And we won the case. We won the case. Now I had another child after Unomaziz. After Gengogu, the medication was provided to Omama Abapila and HIV. My son he's turning 20 on the 14th of this month, yeah. In fact, it was a twin as we speak. And as a result of ARVs, he was born with yeah, he was born HIV free as a result of that. Now, being part of CMT, Community Health Media Trust, as you guys know it, that gave me an opportunity to talk to abanye abantu that are living with HIV, that, you know what, there is life after HIV. You don't have to die. You can be HIV positive, yes, you're already HIV positive. Ideally, we would have loved for people to stay HIV negative, but if you're already HIV, there's nothing that can be done to take it away, but we just need to live positively and live with HIV. Here I am, I'm living with HIV. It also gave me an opportunity to speak to the mothers when they discover that they are pregnant and HIV positive at the same, because most women found out about HIV, about their HIV status when they are pregnant. Now that you are pregnant, your child can be protected from getting HIV. You can give birth to an HIV-free child, so we campaigned for that. We won the battle, and after Leo year PMT City now, we sat down and thought, okay, now we got a treatment for abantwana to be born HIV-free. How about the mothers? You cannot give birth to umdana and leave umdana, because if you are not treated yourself for your own, if you are not taking treatment for your own health, then you are going to die, because with HIV there's nothing in between. It's either you live with HIV, with a treatment, or you die. There's nothing in between. So now we had to start another campaign. Yoguti, now that you've given abantwana medication, give the medication to the mothers and the fathers so that they can raise abantwana babo. At the time when I discovered about my HIV status, my older son was 7 years old. He's 30 years namhlanje. Now those were the things, and into yoguti, if I die, what's going to happen to umdana? I want to see umdana wam cool. I want to see him finishing school, going to varsity, going to Endabeni, and all those things. So ARVs, because of the ARVs, I have achieved all that. And the other mothers, I am sure, because of Inqubo, most mothers achieved that. They got or they gave birth to HIV negative children, and they are here for abantwana babo. They are seeing abantwana babo be cooler, right? So yeah. Yeah, that's it for now. But one other thing, and for now we emphasize, ikhona treatment, yes, but we still need more education on HIV, because it looks like in Gogo, there is not enough education on HIV and treatment. And as a result, abanye abantu, when they're taking in treatment, they don't even understand. Once they reach a stage where their virus is undetected, they think they've been cured. You know, in fact, there are a lot of confusing messages out there. Besides confusing messages, abantu, they are desperate, because nobody wants to live with HIV. I'm living positive with the HIV. I'm okay. It's been 23 years now. I tested in 1999, but given a chance, I would choose to be HIV negative, because it's not easy living with HIV. But once it's here, learn to live with it. Figure something out. Just learn to live with it. We have different reasons. Ezokufuna ukuphila, like I was saying, I wanted to see abantwana bami bekhula, and I did not want to die. And I remember going to the first conference at Durban. That was in 2000, first HIV conference at Durban. And I got to meet Uzaki for the first time. Uzaki Ahmad. You guys will know Uzaki Ahmad. That was in 2000, and I heard Uguti Uzaki had been living with HIV since 1992. That was 7 years, and I was like, okay, if he could live with HIV, I can also live with HIV. HIV is not different from mine. Then at the same conference, I also learned Uguti. There was a judge. What's his name again? You guys are going to remember. Edwin Cameron, who had been living with HIV since 1986. Then I thought, okay, we can all live with HIV. But the difference between Nanabo was that Edwin Cameron was a judge, he could afford medication. In fact, at the time, he was already taking medication. In fact, campaigns were based on that. If abanye abantu can take medication because when they can afford them, how about the people who cannot afford them? Should they die because they cannot afford medication? You understand? So my point here is that education is still important because people might be taking in medication and not wanting to finish medication, thinking so they just need to be educated. You just cannot stop taking your medication. Yes, in treatment fatigue. I also experience treatment fatigue sometimes, but the advantage with me is that I am treatment literate. I understand these things. Even when at the times when I feel good, I don't want to take my medication anymore. I am so tired of taking my medication. Then I think, if I don't take my medication, I'm going to die, and I don't want to die. Nobody wants to die. Thank you.